guys, and welcome back to another episode of Laravel Real World. Today is going to be slightly different. I'm just going to do a little bit of a talk, and what this talk is going to be about, and what this series is going to be about, is from a startup perspective. How do you become a developer? This question comes up from a lot of groups that I'm in quite regularly, and I feel it'd be a good topic just to discuss. I'm completely self-taught. I started um, learning back in 2017-ish, um, and there was a lot of things that I ran into, a lot of issues that I had, and a lot of questions I had. And I feel hopefully some of the videos that I'm going to be doing around these topics is going to help you um, hopefully get into the development world and the development industry. So the first topic we're going to talk about is how do you become a developer? Now, this question is such a broad topic. You can't cover that question. You just can't. What you need to think about in terms of when you ask this question of how do I become a developer is, what do you want to achieve as an individual? What do you want to become? What do you want to do? And these three questions are the most important ones. And the very first one, which I feel is extremely important, is, do you enjoy technology? Now, if you're not a person that loves to sit at a computer for hours on end, for me, and this is my personal opinion, becoming a developer is not going to be your type of thing. There is going to be times when you're sat at a computer, which I've done myself. For example, I've sat at a computer 14 hours working. Can you sit there at some point and do something like that? Not that you should. Obviously, that's terribly unhealthy. Um, Sometimes it just calls for it. But that is a question you've got to ask yourself. Can you sit at a computer for hours on end, reading, looking up, investigating, looking at code for hours? That is, to me, the most extreme important thing. Is that something you can enjoy? Now, for me, when it came to technology, I love technology. Anything about technology I love. I love researching about, I love looking up. I've been tinkering with computers ever since I was about 11, 10 years old, and I've never been any different. So that, like I say, that is a very important, and that is the number one thing you need to ask yourself before you start this journey. um, And if that is something you can do, we come to number two. And number two is, what type of developer do you want to be? Now, this is a topic that you seriously need to consider. Now, there is some people out there, which I'm a little bit of that myself, is I can do multiple languages. Um, but not everyone can, because not everyone can pick up code so quickly, or the um, the way you read the syntax differently so quickly. Not everyone can. It's not a bad thing. It's just each to their own. Every person is an individual, and just because you're not able to do something doesn't mean you're not capable. It's really not like that. At one point in my life, when I first started learning to code, I genuinely didn't think I could do it. um, I would sit and think, I need to give up. I can't do this. When you really can. If you put your mind to that topic, you really can learn it. So back to what I was saying in terms of, what type of developer do you want to be? Do you want to be a software engineer? Do you want to be a web developer? Do you want to be a games developer? Do you want to be a web designer? So this kind of question you need to do a little bit of research on. Now, the bad thing is that you can't necessarily determine whether that's something you're going to enjoy. But to an extent, certain extent, you can, because languages ain't much different from each other, just syntax is different. So if you enjoy one, you generally will enjoy the other. The only time that will become slightly different is, for example, game development. That is a whole nother beast compared to, say, web development. So, and again, to the other type is like an AI developer. Again, completely different to a web developer. So to a certain extent, you can determine the differences and determine whether that's something you'd enjoy doing. So again, that is number two. You need to ask yourself is what type of developer, and research, look up. The other thing that regards to maybe to help that decision is to look where you live. Look for the demand. If there's a demand for web developers, game developers, AI developers, data scientists, that kind of stuff, then could that be a factor in your decision? Because if, for example, they're looking for tons of PHP developers in the area, and you go and choose Node or Python, well, what's the point? You're going to struggle to get a job in your area. Not so much a problem maybe at the moment because everyone's working from home and everyone's working remotely. But that can be a factor and that can be a decision maker. And the third thing is, um, are are you in a mindset where you will constantly think about what you're doing? Will you constantly think, what do I want to achieve? How do I want to achieve it? And also, have I am I in the mindset of constantly learning? If you're a person that is quite happy to learn a topic and then sit back, relax, go to work, come home, sit back, relax, go to, unfortunately, being a developer, that's not really gonna happen much at all, because technology is forever moving. New frameworks, new libraries, new languages, they come out all the time. So unfortunately, you have to ask yourself, is that the kind of grind that you're happy to do? Is that something you enjoy? Is that something that would put you off from that kind of job? Um, so that is really something you've got to ask yourself. Are you happy to be in a continuous learning mode with your brain, and continuously research and look up new things that appear on the web, and that kind of stuff? So for me, those three things are so important. And new people that come into that question of, I want to become a developer, what language should I learn? Well, before you even get to that point, you need to ask yourself those three important questions. And like I said, you can jump straight in, but you could be wasting your time. So yeah, like I said, those three things are so important. And please feel free to ask me questions if you have any more questions regarding how to become a developer. But like I said, for me, those three things you need to answer yourself first. No one can help you decide those three things. People can give you guidance, but those three things you have to decide yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much the three things that I wanted to discuss with you. And the following videos that I'll have on this topic is around the different languages for the different types of developers you want to become. And also a couple of the other videos that I want to get out is regarding trying to help you understand the logically thinking process in your brain that you need to switch on when you become to learning how to develop. Because when you're developing, back-end languages, it's very logic based, and I've struggled with it myself previously. Over the last couple of years, I've improved a lot, and the way I have my brain thinking is, if I do this, it does this. If it don't do this, then I've got to do this. And okay, well, if this happens, then what does this so that's what I mean. You've got to change the way your brain thinks, not just hit some code, hope it works. You've got to think of the process that you're going to go through when your code is executing. So there's quite a few videos I want to go over, but yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, and hopefully this helps you trying to figure out your path and how you want to become a developer. Like I say, if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask. Um, I will happily answer them as best as I can, give you as much advice as I can. But yeah, so please give me a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll have the next few videos out pretty soon. Thanks. Goodbye.